golden, as you can see this halo on top of my head, way that all truck drivers are actually trying to do. And that is, hey, if you're watching this video, that means that you're probably interested in knowing how to get a stable career as an owner-operator. So a lot of owner-operators, when they're first starting off, they actually have an issue of having a roller coaster time when it comes to starting a business. And many people in new businesses actually have the same exact experience, where they're trying to start a business. Some months are great, some months are not so great, or maybe they're trying to just pick things up. But as an owner-operator, one of the scariest things is going to be you have all these expenses. You're probably going to have a truck payment, you're going to have insurance payments, you're going to have repair payments, and all those things do add up. And those expenses can go up and down a lot as well when it comes to repairs. But other things like truck payments and insurance payments, those are pretty stable, right? So that means you have to make a certain amount of money every single month just to cover your overhead or your expenses. And then hopefully on the good months, you can actually make a lot of profit that covers for the bad months. Now that would be the wrong way of thinking about any type of business. Anytime that you're on a roller coaster, whether it's in life or whether it's in business, you're always going to wind up with a queasy stomach. And that's what we're trying to avoid here. Because our mission here at Driving Academy is to help people get their CDL license and ultimately get on the road to freedom. And how can you feel free when you're going one of these things up and down all over the place and going crazy, right? So that's definitely not a cool thing to do. So let's give you the actual secrets and tips and tricks on how you can actually create a stable, functional, and profitable trucking business just for yourself, right? So the first thing that you have to understand about trucking is, or any other business, is all the same. So you're going to have income coming in, which is how you make money, and expenses going out. The whole name of the game when it comes to business is, of course, have more money coming in than you have money going out. So when it comes to trucking, we already talked about some of the major expenses. You're going to have truck payments, insurance payments, and then if you're the driver, you really don't have to pay yourself, right, as an employee. But if you have drivers underneath you, you're going to have labor, which is going to be an actual big expense too. And then the variable expense, which means that sometimes you have to pay for it, sometimes you don't, is going to be repair expenses, right? So all of a sudden, if an engine blows out on you, that could be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for repair. If a tire blows out, that could be $200, $300, $400 to repair. If it's just a small little light or hose, it could be $50 to repair, right? So depending on how well you do your job, depends on how well you can manage your expenses. And really the biggest expenses that you can actually manage is going to be your fuel, and it's also going to be your repairs, right? So if you're actually driving in a certain way, you can modify your fuel cost and make sure you're reducing that to as much as possible. And then also when it comes to repairs, as long as you're doing your daily inspections and checking things out and finding mistakes when they're smaller, that means that you're able to fix it at a much cheaper price than waiting for things to get big and then a big problem happens, which means a big check has to be paid in order to fix all of that issue, right? But now, so that's handling the expenses. The income side is what most people are caring about, right? So we want to make sure that we can make a steady amount of money every single day, every single week, every single month, so we're not always going up and down. So there's three main ways that you can actually get work as an owner-operator itself. So let's go through all three of those. Way number one is going to be you are just an owner-operator, which means you run your truck and then you put your truck underneath another carrier, right? So that means that you own the truck, you have the insurance expenses, but you're working with a company who's bigger than you and is going to handle all of the dispatching and all of the finding of the loads, right? So if you're somebody who does not like paperwork, if you're somebody who does not want extra responsibilities to find that money side, that's one way you can do it. And hopefully you find a company that's been there long enough, has relationships with enough brokers and enough distributors where they can keep you steady every single month with business, right? Option number two is going to be dealing with brokers directly. So you as an owner-operator, you can open up your very own carrier, which means that you're a one-man show, which is perfectly okay. That's how I started. And then you're dealing with brokers individually, right? So you're going onto the load boards, you're going through all the different loads, and all of a sudden you're contacting loads and trying to negotiate them. Now if you're super good at negotiating, super good at checking things out and planning ahead of schedule, with enough effort you can keep a steady flow as long as you are flexible on where do you want to go, right? Hey, that kind of rhymed. You can keep a steady flow as long as you're flexible on where you want to go. So what does that actually mean, right? So that means if you only want to go from like for instance New Jersey to Ohio and Ohio back, right? There might be weeks where maybe the New Jersey to Ohio route is not going to pay as much, which means if you're doing that route and you're super rigid on where you want to go, maybe from point A to point B, then you might be experiencing that roller coaster that we talked about. However, if you're just go with the flow kind of guy and you want that income to be steady, in that case you can say, okay, where's the money going at this week? And then you can just follow the money. What that most likely is going to do is it's going to move you around all different parts of the country. So that's another way you can keep the income coming in at a nice steady level the whole way around. However, when you are dealing with brokers and you're not great at negotiating or you're not great at planning ahead, then it might make things a little bit more difficult because now you're dealing with the market, which means when the market goes up, you make more money. When the market goes down, you make less money, or depending on where you want to go, right? So that can be variable if you do not know what you're doing. And then the third way to do it is probably the most secure way. This is the golden, as you can see this halo on top of my head, way that all truck drivers are actually trying to do, and that is working for a dedicated contract, right? So there are few of these out there, and most of the time they're dealing with the bigger companies out there, but there are ways where you can actually get a dedicated contract for certain distributors where maybe they have enough volume going through where you're going to work with the distributor directly and you're going to say, hey, I'm already doing this route for you. You're doing up from point A to point B and you have 2 or 3 loads a week. Let me be your guide to transport it back and forth. Because in that case, you know exactly that the work's going to be there, and there's going to be a set price point for that work as well. So as long as you're doing that work, you're going to get paid the same amount of money every single month, and you're going to have a nice stable account. Now, those things are hard because most of the time they need time to build up that trust and that relationship with you as the individual driver. And most of the time they're going to be looking for more trucks in their fleet, right? So maybe you can just become a broker. Maybe you partner up with some of your buddies out there, say, hey, I got this great dedicated contract. We can just kind of keep going back and forth. Nice and stable, nice and easy. You don't have to worry about too much brain damage on when it comes to planning or where you're going to be going next. Everything makes it nice and smooth, right? So those are the 3 ways on how you can secure income for yourself as a trucking company, as an owner-operator itself, to make sure that you're making as much money as possible and you are getting off of that crazy roller coaster that comes with inconsistency. So I hope that this information helped you out. If you don't even have a CDL license yet, then we do recommend going to the best truck driving school in the entire country, and that's here at Driving Academy. We're located in Linden, New Jersey. We also have plans to expand nationwide to our franchising opportunity. And maybe you are a truck driver already and you're kind of fed up with the whole rate situation. When the prices go up, you're great. When the prices drop on your rates, you are super upset. Maybe you don't want to deal with any more rates. We can actually help you become your own truck driving school owner and help you start your very own driving academy in a location near you. So if you're interested in any of those things, make sure you comment below or give us a call at 908-525-3609 and check out our website at cdldrivingacademy.com. Again, cdldrivingacademy.com. Thanks. Have a great day. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. It's really going to help us out. Click on that button. And if you want to continue yourself on your road to freedom, here's more videos to watch. There's endless amounts. Hopefully we get to see each other one day very soon. Thanks.